Bonjour et bienvenue dans Passeport Diplomatique, votre émission qui vous invite à découvrir la diplomatie sous un autre jour. Une immersion au cœur des relations diplomatiques, des enjeux internationaux et du partage culturel. Cette semaine, nous sommes à la résidence du haut-commissaire britannique à Maurice, où son Excellence, le haut-commissaire Paul Brummell, nous reçoit. Good morning, High Commissioner, and thank you for having us today.
Good morning.
It's great to meet you. So the first question, how would you describe the primary role of the British High Commission in Mauritius today?
So, I think I'm very fortunate to be arriving at a really important time for the relationship between the United Kingdom and Mauritius. So in May this year, our two countries signed a historic agreement on the Chagos archipelago. It's an agreement which shows mutual respect for international law. It's an agreement about safeguarding the future of the Diego Garcia military base. And it's also an agreement which sets up a step change in our bilateral relationship. Alongside the agreement itself, our two foreign ministers signed a strategic partnership framework. And this is based around four key priority areas: maritime security and combating illegal migration, climate and environment, growth, trade and investment, and institutional reform and good governance. And that framework, I think, really sets the tone for what we are focusing on as a High Commission, what we're doing now, and what we're aiming to do with Mauritius going forward.
Thank you, High Commissioner. If you were to explain your work as High Commissioner to a high school student in Mauritius, how would you describe a typical day?
Gosh, what is a typical day? I'm not sure I've had a typical day yet, but every day has felt very, very special and very different. Actually, I think my work is fundamentally about people. It's fundamentally about bringing people together, because I think the links between two countries are developed, are made by great people from each of those countries doing fantastic things and working together. And so in many ways, my role as High Commissioner is to bring those people together, to make great things happen in the bilateral relationship. And that can be in a whole range of areas. So, for example, working with colleagues in the government of Mauritius on really important global issues: combating climate change, tackling illicit finance, the kind of big issues of the day. It can be working with British businesses, supporting British businesses looking to develop their trade and investment links here in Mauritius. It can be helping British citizens who are here. Most British citizens come, many on holiday, have absolutely fantastic times in luxury resorts. Occasionally things go wrong. Maybe they have health issues or lose their passport or something like that. So that's when we have to step in and try to support. And then a whole range of cultural links. I think our cultural ties are so strong, and there's so many examples of great people working together. So I think that's what I do, and it's fundamentally about bringing people together.
Thank you. What message would you give to a young Mauritian who dreams of studying, conducting research, or working in the UK, but feels that access to such opportunities are limited?
I think the first thing I'd say is, great choice. I think the UK is a fantastic place to study, do research, to work. We're really proud that the UK has some of the globally best ranked, best regarded universities. We have a fantastic offer, and there's lots of, and I'm absolutely delighted that many Mauritian students studying in UK universities, including through scholarship programs such as our Evening Scholarship, the Commonwealth Scholarship, which is administered by the Ministry of Education. But I'm also conscious it can be an expensive option. I mean, not everybody can get a scholarship, and studying in the UK, there is a price tag attached. But that's why I think it's really great news that there are a very wide range of transnational education partnerships involving UK universities with Mauritian counterparts or other providers here in Mauritius, which offer in different ways UK standard accommodation, UK standard education here in Mauritius. So one example, probably the best known example, is the Middlesex University campus here on Mauritius. You know, it's a fabulous facility offering great courses of study. But I think there are something like 34 different partnerships involving different UK universities in different ways.
Thank you, High Commissioner. In the context of a growing partnership between the UK and Mauritius, what opportunities have been available over the past year in terms of scholarship, academic exchanges, cultural programs, and how do these avenues, how are they expanding in the near future?
Yeah, so there are a range of opportunities. I think one of the best known is our Chevening scholarships, and these are fully funded one-year master's scholarships, and they are, what we're really looking for in a Chevening scholarship is a Mauritian who is going to make a change. It's going to make a change here in Mauritius. So one of the rules under the Chevening scholarships is you have to come back. We don't want people who are going to do great things internationally. We want people who are going to come back and help develop and support Mauritius and bring it forward. So it's a program that I really like, and it is, as I say, fully funded. It covers everything from tuition to accommodation to flights. Of course, they're very competitive, because it's such a prestigious opportunity. There's also the excellent Commonwealth Scholarship Programme, again offering full scholarships to the UK, and that's administered through the Ministry of Education here in Mauritius. We have some specific programmes. So, for example, we have some specific support for members of the Chagosian community in Mauritius, including a programme of English language training, which is funded through the British Council. And I should say the British Council office here in Rose Hill is, a mine of support more widely in terms of people looking to develop their skills in English language, maybe to take exams in English, and also to learn more about the UK education and higher education system. So they're all competitive. They're all quite challenging to get, but there are some good opportunities out there.
Thank you. What, in your view, are the three strategic pillars shaping the UK-Mauritian partnership, and why these specifically?
Can you allow me 4 strategic pillars rather than 3? Because I say that because, as I say, my boss, the then Foreign Minister, Secretary in the UK, signed with Foreign Minister Ramphal in May a strategic partnership framework, and that's got 4 pillars in it. So I think I should respect my boss and go with 4 pillars. So the first one is about maritime security and countering illegal migration. A really big theme globally, but it also resonates very strongly following the signature of the agreement on the Chagos archipelago, because obviously that means that Mauritius will have a lot of water to patrol, a lot of challenges around supporting your maritime security, and so we're really keen to partner up with Mauritius in supporting you to do exactly that. Then the second key pillar is around climate and environment, where we are working with Mauritius in all sorts of ways to help you develop the resilience to combat the threats around climate change. Third area around growth, trade and investment, and we're developing an enhanced strategic trade partnership really to identify those sectors where the UK and Mauritius want to work most closely together to support our ambitions to build trade and investment. It's already quite strong. Our trade is about 70 billion rupees a year bilaterally, which is a good figure, but we want to do even more. And then the final area around institutional reform and good governance. So, for example, we are providing some support to help deliver Prime Minister Ramgoolam's vision of the creation of a Mauritius National Crime Agency.
Thank you. Energy transition is becoming central to island economies. How does the UK envision its collaboration with Mauritius on renewable energy, green finance, and energy security?
Oh, it's a huge area, but one where we're very closely engaged. So we have a climate action task force, which is based within the Mauritian Ministry of Finance, and that is supporting the development of Mauritius's climate finance unit, but more specifically supporting the development of the Climate Sustainability Trust Fund, building potentials around blended finance, which is basically how we lever more private sector support to go with donor funded and other domestic sources of funding, so that Mauritius has a really great kind of pool of money able to support your work in climate adaptation and confronting the effects of climate change. So that's a really key area. And I think on renewables, I mean, we're delighted to see you've set an ambitious NDC target around the transition to renewables. We're very keen to support Mauritius in doing that, and in fact we've just launched a study in support of your Ministry of Energy, which is being delivered by Arup, and they are looking at the potentials around offshore wind. So it's really just an assessment study to see whether offshore wind looks a good element in the kind of renewables mix. One of my colleagues, our Small Island Development States envoy, met Foreign Minister Ramphal at the COP30 meeting in Belém just a few short weeks ago. So they had a really good discussion around exactly this agenda of how we support Mauritius in delivering your climate change objectives and mitigating some of the challenges and effects around climate change.
Thank you, High Commissioner. The UK is a leading actor in digital transformation, cybersecurity, and AI. How does this technological leadership influence cooperation with Mauritius?
I think, it's a really good question. I think it's about learning together, actually. I mean, the pace of change is so fast. AI, we all remember a few short years ago when AI was, certainly in the higher education sector, was viewed as something with deep suspicion, as largely about students trying to cheat in their exams. And there's been a complete sea change, and there's been a sea change in my ministry and across UK government as we're looking at the potential for AI to harness AI to do things better, to do things faster. There are amazing opportunities. We are seeing the results already in areas like medical research, where AI is powering huge innovations in medical diagnostics, just to give one of very many areas. So I think there's a lot to do together. It's a theme, I think, in my introductory calls with pretty much every minister in the Mauritian government. The kind of digital agenda and AI has come up as a theme. So we're really keen to work with you. But I would say it's not the kind of UK giving advice on what to do model. I think it's UK and Mauritius learning together in the face of a very fast changing situation. I think that's the right way to look at this.
Finally, in the spirit of Passeport Diplomatique, could you share a story that reveals behind the scenes side of diplomacy beyond official communiques?
Gosh, yes. Do you know, one of the great things about being a diplomat, I think, is the great privilege that it gives you not just to travel, but to really immerse yourself in the culture and the traditions of the country in which you are based. You really, to be a diplomat, you really need to try to understand the country where you're living, your home for 3 or 4 years. And that's a wonderful thing. One of the great joys of my diplomatic career has been discovering a country through its food, for example. I was our ambassador in Kazakhstan, where as the honoured guest in Kazakh meals, you would frequently be presented with a sheep's head on a tray. And I rapidly discovered that the purpose of being presented with a sheep's head on a tray was not that you were expected to eat the sheep's head, but that you, as the honoured guest, you were expected to apportion it to all of the guests around the table. But there was an art to this. You were supposed to apportion different parts of the sheep's head according to the qualities of the person you were looking at. And members of my staff, when accompanying me to dinners, would live in fear of this, as I would say, well, there's only one part of the sheep's head that my far-sighted political secretary really deserves, and they knew they were going to get the eye. Actually, my excursions into Mauritian cuisine have been uniformly wonderful, and I'm hugely enjoying it. But one of the moments that really sticks in my mind was going to Tribeca Mall to meeting the team at Ramsay Maraz, which is one of the I think most long-standing dal puri makers in Mauritius, in their third generation already. And they very happily took me onto the line to help me sort of wrap dal puris, which was a lovely experience. And I got to keep the one I wrapped at the end as well. So that was great.
Thank you very much, High Commissioner, for having us today, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.